Hello, and welcome to the Path to Freedom podcast, a weekly podcast that is about how we, that is you and me, can tap into the freedom that is inherent within us, regardless of what is going on in the external world. Freedom from fear, worry, and doubt. Freedom to follow our heart's desires. Freedom to live in love and joy and peace, abundance and harmony. My name is Daniel Roquillo, and I'm your host. Welcome to the Path to Freedom podcast. This weekly podcast that is about freedom, the freedom that is inherent, intrinsic to our nature, that is all around us, that is in us, that is accessible to any one of us who choose to seek it, to choose to find it. My name is Daniel Roquillo, and I'm the host of this podcast. And tonight we have a very special guest, Rev Kim Stanwood Terranova, who will be joining us and who is honoring us with her presence. And you can't see it right now because I'm the one talking, but she's got a lovely smile and I can see it. And she'll be joining us, and she'll be sharing her wisdom and love and compassion. And we're going to have a conversation about intentions. And she's like the guru, the master of intentions, as I'll tell you more about in a little bit. So do you want to say hello, Reverend Kim?
Hello. Oh, good. I get to say hello. Hello. I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me here. I'm thrilled. And yes, we'll be talking about my favorite subject is the power of intentions, which is so perfect at this time and every time of the year, but really right now.
Absolutely. And I'll give you a more proper and honorable introduction in a minute. But as always, before we get into the episode, let's begin in a moment of silence, stillness, meditation, and prayer. So whenever you are, wherever you are, I invite you to close your eyes. Take a couple of deep breaths, allowing the dust and the grit of the day to wash off. And let's turn within. If you feel comfortable, you can place your hands in your lap, palms facing upward in a receptive mode. And I invite you all, I invite myself to turn our attention to our breathing. Simply pay attention to the air flowing in and out, the chest rising and falling, and allow each breath to move us deeper and deeper and deeper into the stillness. And I invite us to give our bodies permission to relax with each breath, letting go of tension, letting go of stress, releasing and letting go of anything and everything that we may have brought into this moment. allowing the nowness of this moment to embrace us, comfort us, surround us, permeate us. As we simply observe our bodies breathe. And if a thought pulls our attention away, we simply and lovingly and gently turn it back to our breathing. In a brief moment, I'm going to move us into prayer, but I invite you to remain with your eyes closed, your attention turned to your breathing, and simply be open and receptive to the feeling tone, the vibration of the prayer. And so how good it feels, how good it is, how grateful I am to be in this moment, right here, right now, this beautiful, wonderful moment. How grateful I am for the technology that allows this podcast to come into being. How grateful I am for Rev Kim's love and generosity and kindness, for her honoring this podcast with her presence, her wisdom, her kindness. How grateful I am for you, whoever you are, whenever you are, wherever you are. I'm so grateful for your participation in this, for your co-creation in this field that this podcast is generating, this community is generating. As Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith sometimes says, community brings immunity. So we're creating a field of immunity right now, right here. And I'm so grateful for your participation of it. I'm so grateful for God, for Spirit, who guides and leads me in such a beautiful way, who guided and led me to this podcast, to this episode. I'm so grateful for God flowing through us, each and every single one of us, for sustaining and maintaining all of that which we are, because God is everywhere, omnipresent, infinite, meaning that there is no space nor place where God is not, but God is everywhere, and God is love and peace and joy and harmony and intelligence and beauty, health, wholeness. All of that is what God is. And as God cannot divide itself, share of itself, contradict itself, all of that is right where I am, is right where you are. Each and every single one of us is a unique and perfect emanation of spirit. Each and every single one of us is God expressing itself as you and as me. So right here, right in this moment, right where we are, all of that we need, we have. Everything we need, we have. All of our needs are met. Peace is right here. Joy is right here. Abundance is right here. Health, wholeness, right here, right now. Regardless of what our perception may be, regardless of what our experiences may be, God is. God is you are. God is I am. Nothing standing between any of us. No separation, no distance. We're all expressions of the one. And how grateful I am to know this, to feel this, to accept this, to give thanks for it. And I allow it to be because it is. And in this day, in this moment, in this now, I'm open and available for all of that which God is to flow through me. And I know that as I am open and available, you are open and available for all of that which God is to flow through you, that we may forever, forever, forever allow for greater and grander expressions of who and what we are to emerge with such ease, such grace, such dignity. Something wonderful is happening right now. Something wonderful is happening right now. I know it, I feel it, I accept it, I give thanks for it, I allow it to be. And I know, as I release this word, that the law says, yes, bring it on, baby. That's what the law says. No denial, no delay. But the universe is ready to go right now because our vibration has been lifted. The universe always rises up to meet us where we are. And as we in this moment have elevated, raised our vibration, that's where the universe, that's where God, that's where spirit meets us. So God is right there cheering us on. I know it, I feel it, I accept it. I give thanks for it. I allow it to be. It is done. It is done. It is done. So it is. So be it. Amen. So welcome back to all of you. You may open your eyes if you had them closed. And much, much welcome to you, Rev Kim Stanwood Terranova. I'm so
happy here.
And I'm so happy to have you here. For those of you who don't know you yet, and they will after this episode, but for those of you who don't know it yet, for over 25 years, Rev Kim Stanwood Terranova has been an impactful spiritual figure in the United States, as well as globally. As a powerhouse speaker, spiritual leader, compassionate counselor, she is committed to guiding people in fulfilling their greatest destiny. The 3 times best-selling author of The Technology of Intention was recently recognized by Michael Bernard Beckwith and the Agape Spiritual Center with the high honor of Master Practitioner as well as Master Teacher at the Agape University of Transformational Studies. Kim has immersed herself and given her life to the study and practice of universal spiritual truth and wisdom, with a degree in spiritual studies and a license as a practitioner of truth. She's also honored to be an ongoing guest speaker and lead teacher at the Elite Rhythmia Life Advancement Center in Costa Rica. Additionally, Kim is the founder of Namaste Retreats, where she offers spiritual seekers a space to go deeper on their individual path of self-expression, and World as One, a nonprofit 501 organization committed to bringing the principles of peace to children all over the world. Kim has been dubbed the Mind Chiropractor, and her commitment to her clients and all those who cross her path is to hold them in the highest light, knowing the spiritual truth for them as they awaken to their own inner greatness. So, wow.
Oh my goodness, that was too much.
It's
like a long life.
Such an amazing being. Wow.
Oh goodness, I'm just honored to be in this body, in this life right now, to be present, to be of service. You know, it's all that says, is I'm just grateful to be of service.
And for those of you who don't know it, Kim is teaching classes at Agape, and I just recently finished one of your classes. And during the 5 weeks that class lasted, I was mind blown, and my life has shifted. My life has shifted. The trajectory of my life has totally shifted. So thank you, on a personal note, thank you for bringing that high level of service to the world. I've had the honor and privilege to experience it firsthand. So thank you. Amazing.
Oh, thank you. That just makes my day, because I love teaching, and Reverend Michael's book, Spiritual Liberation, it gives me great material to teach from, whether I'm teaching from his books or mine. It's a joy, and it was an adventure to teach in this format. Usually I have people in the classroom, and to teach in this format brought a whole new world to it, and it worked. It was like, I loved in your prayer, like, thank you to technology. You could be where you are, I could be where I am, all people listening to this could be where they are, but we're still connected.
Yep.
Like, this is a reminder, we're still connected. We're still right here, connected vibrationally, wherever we're at in the world. So yes, I will keep teaching and keep growing and keep learning.
Please do. Please do. The topic for today is intentions and the power or technology of intentions. And I just want to, and you have a book out. You just recently put it out, as I understand it. Before we jump into this topic and this conversation, I just want to read the foreword to your book, written by Michael Bernard Beckwith. And this is what he has to say. He says that the technology of intention is a wonderful, important, and timely book for the planet right now. Not only is the information it contains transformative, but it provides a greater understanding of intentionality itself. And Kim Terranova beautifully shows the art and the science of its practice. If you have been drifting in your life, this is the book for you. And then a little later he writes, intention is the key to life. Living in intention means co-creating your life as a result of your everyday choices. And without intention, life happens to us, not through us. We came into the world with everything we need to fulfill our destiny, and intentions are the way to uncover our inherent giftedness. Adding clear intentions as a means of supporting our focused desire amplifies the field of consciousness, bringing all that we desire to us with grace and ease. So it's quite easy for me to understand why intentions are so important to you and why you love them so much. Could you please begin our conversation with describing, Reverend Kim, what is an intention as you define it?
Thank you. Intentions are, yes, they are everything to me. They are the tool that I use, I don't want to say most often, but moment by moment, I'm using intentions in my daily life and assisting others to do the same. Reverend Michael says it beautifully in the foreword, and I giggled when I received his gift of the foreword. I thought, oh, I just love the foreword so much. I'm so good. I'm so grateful the book supports the foreword and they support each other. Intentions are the pathway of co-creation. So we know there's one power, one presence that we're connected to. Our availability to remember, we're co-creating with that power, whether one calls it God, spirit, the universe, that power is creating through us. So we can create unconsciously and not know, but we're still creating, because it does not stop. And when we create consciously, we do it by intention. So we are saying to the universal field of consciousness, I'm aiming in this direction. The universal field of consciousness, spirit always says yes.
Right.
So wherever we're pointing to, that intention is being fueled with our co-creation agreement. So it's not saying, I just want a better life, I want that to happen. That's a want, but that doesn't have the power that an intention is. My intention is to create a life I dream of. My intention is to create it now. My intention is to allow spirit to move through me, to assist me in all that I desire. So they're one-line statements that are aimed for our direction of all that we wish to create. We're placing on the altar of consciousness an intention that says, this is my desire, not from a want or please do this for me, but from an availability of, I'm accepting, I'm calling this forward. But when we do it in the pathway of the steps I've laid out in the book, which makes it really easy for people to apply intentions, is that when we do it in that certain pathway, we are propelling energy into the field that takes it and creates it right before our eyes. So then miracles come back.
Right.
And they aren't really miracles, they're the normal because they're fulfilled intentions.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's a long answer, but they're wonderful statements to the universal field that we're stating and knowing what we're co-creating.
And so what I gather is that a key to or what sets an intention aside from, let's say, just a fantasy or a dream or a wish or a hope is sort of the willingness to be participating in the creative process, to be moved.
Absolutely. You open the door of willingness. Yes. So it does a few things, Daniel. So great question. It gives clarity.
Uh-huh.
See, clarity is power. So if we just look at something we want, a vision we want, that's beautiful. That's an inspiration. We catch the inspiration of, that's where I want to be and create. But it's the action behind the inspiration that brings us freedom. You've heard me say that, is that when we take inspiration, propel it with action, we live a life of freedom. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just inspiration has landed and spirit's like, are you co-creating with me? What's happening here? Yeah. So our intention is saying to that want, that vision, we're saying, whoa, I feel that, I want that. What's my intention with that? To call forth the pathway of guidance, to understand, to know all my needs are met, to accept that to fulfill this vision, I have all I need right now, and I'm accepting even more of whatever else is needed that I may not see, but I'm knowing is happening. So they're the propelling action. That's what intentions do. They don't just let an inspiration sit. Yeah. It's like, okay, caught that inspiration. Now I'm going to lift it with action and place it to spirit, and spirit's like, great. Clarity's power. It's not I think I'd like to go on that trip. That's maybe, I'm not sure. That's not a clear statement that's an unlimited source. So you get an answer that matches what you just asked. Mm-hmm. So when we ask, and I want to say state, not ask, clearly in an intention, we're just supporting our dreams and visions. We're creating our destiny. Yeah. By really knowing this is my intention, and then our let go. We can't hold on to it. Sometimes a vision or a want we hold on to. I want that. I see the vision. How's it going to happen? We get caught in the how. Yeah. My intention is to accept. I'm accepting it. That all I need to fulfill that vision is happening right now. So then what happens is we get more inspiration because we just propelled the motion of the intention into action, right? So then something will tell us a step that will help us get to that vision. But if we would have tried to figure out the how, we would have been working from a limited mindset. We've got to let go. So you set the intention, you let go. Doesn't mean you stop. Then you listen to guidance and step into guidance from the inspiration, not from a human doingness, from, oh, that's the way I'm supposed to go to fulfill that. Let me do that now. Right?
And this inspiration that you're talking about, I refer to it as, some call it intuition. I refer to it as the still small voice, and it always speaks to us in a way that we can understand. It took me, I would say, a couple of years, because my very first teacher on this path, on this spiritual path, my very first teacher always said that we are to see before our eyes or in our mind. That's how guidance comes. But I don't see. I never. It's a miracle that I dream. In fact, I'm not even sure that I am dreaming, because I rarely remember my dreams. But I don't see. Some people hear, some people feel. For me, it's an inner knowing. I just know. I can't describe how I know, but I just know. And so each of us need to find that unique way that Spirit is speaking to us or through us. Yeah.
Oh, well said, my dear. That was very well said, because, and it's really good for our listeners and everyone who's walking this path with us to know that it comes to us in different ways.
Yeah.
There isn't just one path. There's many paths. And when we honor those many paths, I'm visual, so I see it where you said you don't. I see it and I hear it. I could hear Spirit talk to me, but I also can see a picture and go, whew, it's that way. So, and other people who maybe come through a different sense. It's just like you said something a minute ago, that the different ways we label it, for lack of better words, then when we know there's room for all of us, whether some of us do it by sight, hearing, whether some of us do it by calling something forth or standing in acceptance, we get to accept each other with our own inner guidance, whether it's intuition, whether it's still small voice, whether it's Spirit's talking to me and I got to listen. That we all, as long as we open the door to be willing to catch it, is enough. If we say, yes, I'm willing to catch it, I'm willing to be present, to hear it, see it, feel it, know it. And then, like you said, back to that's inspiration, take that inner voice and know, okay, I have the ability to propel it forward with an intention, to honor it and place it on the altar and say, okay, that's my intention then, is that.
You mentioned the word altar of consciousness a couple of times. Could you describe what you mean by that, for those who are not familiar with this terminology?
Yes, and forgive me that I use it so
it's fine.
I just always say it myself, because that's my visual, right? Is that we know what altars are, sacred spaces that we create, that honors our belief system, right? And really gives energy, strength. Like right now where I'm looking, I have like 3 altars in here, whether it's rose quartz, angelic beings right there next to a hawk feather, next to a candle. It's an altar. That creates the energy, the vibration of what is important to me, that honors my connection with Source, right?
Right.
So what I see in my mind is an altar for all of us of consciousness. Right. I didn't learn that from someone, but it came to me one time in prayer that I kept repeating, I'm placing this on your altar of consciousness, on my altar of consciousness, the same one that you have, that each of us has. It's really, I'm handing it to Spirit, is what I'm saying. But because then I could know, I could let go, but it's the inspiration came to me. My intention is this, and I place it here and let go. So it's not a term that has come from any certain place except from inside of me. That's what I see, is we all are working with this beautiful altar of consciousness, and we place our intentions upon it.
Thank you for clarifying that. In class, I think it was the very first week, you said that to set a successful intention, there are 3 components. Would you mind sharing that? Or them?
I would love to share that. Kidding? I love that. So when we are creating, writing, stating clear intentions, for years I'd had people say to me, like, well, how do they, because I have been blessed that I could close my eyes and I could listen to Spirit plop in an intention. And when I started to discern what I was catching, there was 3 elements to every single one, to every single intention. And these are what they're, and so when I'm trying to assist people to write their own, that it's not just me, we all have it. Here's how to write your own. And they're simple. The 3 pillars, I call them, to create clear intentions are the first pillars. They're always in the positive, meaning they're always a positive sentence. We wouldn't add the word what we don't want. We wouldn't say, my intention is to not eat that chocolate cake. That's a negative right there. It's a not, versus my intention is to make choices that honor my body.
Right.
See, that's in the positive statement. So we don't place in an intention what we don't want. And that's tricky for some people because they think, well, I don't want that. I said, yeah, but then let's go to what you do want, which is going to be in the positive. Okay. Second one is they're always in the present moment, present tense, present tense, present tense. Even if it's a meeting that we're going to in a week, and it would seem natural in the human realm to say, my intention is that next week in that meeting, I will be strong, clear, and powerful. And I go, no, Spirit knows now. Everything's now. So we're saying my intention is to accept myself here and now, strong, clear, and powerful. So at every meeting, I deliver and communicate all that needs to be said. I bless this meeting. I surround it with light and love. It is in the now. Okay, so that's the second pillar. First one was positive. Second one was present moment. The third one, sometimes people look at me like, wait a minute, I need more practice in that. The third one is they're based in qualities, not outcomes. So qualities of something are freedom. That's a quality. Love, forgiveness, truth, success, abundance, joy, passion. Those are qualities of being. It isn't saying my intention is to marry that person by the next month. That's an end result. So when somebody says, but Kim, I'm in love with this person and I want to get married now. Then if I say, tell me what you love about this person. Tell me the qualities that you feel in their presence. So that they would come back to, I feel loved, I feel fulfilled, I feel connected, I feel whole, I feel passionate. That's your intention, is to live that to the fullest extent in the commitment that's made between the two of you. So it's the basis of the qualities of a life instead of an exact outcome. Right. Some people have said to me once in a while, I really want that outcome. And I said, well, if you're attached to that outcome, say one client, it was a certain house she wanted. She said to me, write an intention so I get that house. I did what I just said. I asked her the qualities. Tell me about the house. And we wrote one that said, my intention is to call forth the most perfect living situation for myself, my children, a home that's filled with light and love. There's a studio for my work. There's plenty of room for family. And it's in my financial realm. And she said, but it has to be that one. I go, at this house or something better I have not seen yet. So that for her, I needed to honor. She was driven to that house. And guess what happened? She didn't get that house. The one she did get was every one of those qualities and more. And she came back and said, I can't thank you enough that I wasn't supposed to get that first house, but she would have been stuck if she would have only gone for the outcome. So the third pillar, qualities, not outcome.
Because we never want to limit spirit. I mean, spirit,
never.
Infinite, all-knowing, knows so much more than we could ever fathom. So yeah.
Yes. And it's the human existence that we think, well, no, that's it. I know what I want. That's it, right? Well, really, when we trust spirit so much that we can know, I want the qualities of that. And I'm going to let go after I name those qualities and trust spirit's going to bring me that or something even better than I haven't seen yet, because that's working with the space of human. Spirit's seeing all knowing. It's going to bring me something else I haven't seen that's going to take my breath away, but it's going to be based on what I'm accepting in this intention. Yeah. That's why we have to be clear. Yeah.
So in the positive or affirmative, in the now, and based on qualities rather than outcomes. Those are the three ingredients to a successful intention.
3 ingredients. Yeah. Absolutely.
Great.
And if you practice those 3, you will keep them. You'll keep writing and saying intentions that will assist you to create all you desire, because you'll be able to check it. You know, if someone says, my intention is to if the word not, or my intention is that I get this job, then they'll go, wait a second, wait, that's not in the qualities. And then they'll go back and reframe it. So it just takes practice. And I tell people, and I love that you said it about 2 or 3 times in the prayer, you kept bringing up gentleness. And that quality of gentleness is imperative when we are learning a new spiritual tool. So intentions take a while before we could just start rolling them off our lips, and that's okay. And that's why it's good to write them down, because then we're practicing our practice of, what's my intention? Oh, to be gentle with myself. Or my intention is to gently write intentions today that support all my dreams and desires. But if we do it with judgment, oh, I did it wrong, then we just blocked the energy again. So it's gentleness in our learning of how to practice them with all those 3 ingredients.
You said a couple of things that triggered a couple of questions that actually came up in class also. So I'm just gonna get them out now. And in class, you shared that when you first started working with intentions, they were a little bit here and a little bit there, and now you said whenever you go somewhere or whatever you do, you're writing an intention. Is there because as I said, this class was transformative for me, and one of the most valuable things that I got from the class is beginning to use intentions. So thank you for that. But for me, it's just like you described. I start off in the morning because I have this morning routine, and I set an intention for the day. But then throughout the day, I keep forgetting. I can go into meetings, I can make phone calls, and only when I hang up the phone or when I leave the meeting, only then do I remember, oh shoot, I forgot to set an intention. So how do we remember to remember? Is there a little, do you have any shortcuts or tricks to that? To remember.
Of course. It's how we build our practice till we becomes natural, right? So when I first started writing intentions, if you would have looked at my home, there was Post-its everywhere you could turn. I would have an intention on the door on my way out that said, what's your intention? I'd have one in my car over the clock that said, set your intention before you walk into this meeting. I'd have, when I work, there's sometimes that the holidays for in my family, I knew I got to have really clear intentions because a lot of energy comes up. I'd go to sleep the night before a big, whether it was Thanksgiving, Christmas, and I'd put a big piece of paper down right where I wake up. And as soon as I put my feet on the floor, it said, what's your intention today? I'd do anything to remind myself, because that's an act of self-care. So then I didn't judge myself if I forgot. Is I would just do anything to remind myself. You probably heard me say in class, my children have been raised with this philosophy. So they heard it. They never got out of the car to go to school without, what's your intention today? They were 6 years old. What's your intention today? Because they started to hear that question. It wasn't my job to tell them their intention, because then that's not honoring them. And half the time they'd say, my intention is to have fun in the play yard. And I'd say, great, then have fun in the play yard today. Or my intention is to be kind to my friends. Great. So we could ask each other, we could ask our spouses, our mates, our children, our family to remind us. We could put notes everywhere. You could have my book close by and it'll remind you. You could do whatever you need to know, what is my intention before I walk into this. The phone, when you said get on the phone, perfect place, put it on your phone. What's my intention before you pick up and make a call?
Right.
Could just be to stay centered. What if we're about to get on a call that has some energy with someone? Then my intention is to stay centered and loving. Now pick up the call. That took less than 4 seconds to say. Oh, one other thing, Daniel, sorry. I'm so sorry. I just remembered one other thing. So I have to honor that. I also had a piece of paper, and I've done this for clients, with a whole list of intentions. And I had it taped in my bathroom mirror, so that I got reminded. So that way there's a whole slew of them there that I was ready for. Oh, I'm going to work that one today.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Because the constant reminding sort of ingrains and integrates it into our system and our conscious minds.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you know, professional athletes don't hesitate on that constant
Yeah.
practice, right? They practice to get their body tone every day, every moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then it becomes automatic. They get up, they go work out in whatever their field is. Spiritual muscle, we get to give it the same attention
Right.
as anyone would in business or for an athletic endeavor. It's repetitive till it's natural.
Yeah.
Then pretty soon it's just what we do.
Yeah.
And that's why right now I know it before I go into anything, because I've been doing it for so
Mm-hmm.
long. But we use the little reminders, support systems, until it's our natural beingness. And then pretty soon you'll be like, wow, I'm not even going into this dinner with my family and friends till I set an intention. As I'm walking in the restaurant door, I could open the door and know my intention is to be connected and loving this evening. And then you're in.
Mm. Yeah.
It's like we get to, what happens when we do that and live a life of intention is we're being conscious versus I was just on a phone looking at a screen, looking at my Instagram, and now I'm with you. Hey, how's it going? I'm still part here, right? Yeah. If I just take a moment and know my intention is to connect with Daniel today. I mean, I set my intention, said my prayers before we ever got on this. I'm sure you did too, because it's how we what we practice.
Right. I think you've already answered, but also in class, I was under the impression that intentions need to be written down. Do we always need to write them down? I know it helps, but do we always need to?
It helps, and there's no always have to be. It's whatever works for anyone. Mm-hmm. So when someone first begins working with intentions, it's good to write them down so that one can go to like the next level of memory as you're writing it down, which is helpful. And then if you forget in the day, you go, what was my intention today? Oh, that's right. It was this. So it's a tool to help. Lots of my clients will send me their daily intentions. You know, I have some clients when they first start, they just want to send them to me. Mm-hmm. And seeing them write it down, some put it in their phone, and then if they forget during the day, they look back and go, oh yeah, that's my intention today. So it's a tool to help you remember to remember. Right. And pretty soon, because it's well practiced, they don't always have to be written down. Sometimes I do. Mostly I just ask myself, what's my intention? Boom, and then it comes up.
Great.
Okay.
I want to, if you could clarify some distinctions, because we've got intentions and we've got affirmations. One chapter in your book is the difference between intention and expectation, and also vision, and how do they work together, and what's what? So if you could speak to that a little.
Right. I can speak to it a little, and it's a really big conversation. So, and if we look at it from this standpoint, they're all brilliant tools. Like it's like, I look at it, Daniel, like I've got a tool bag on at all times, and it's filled with affirmations and intentions and prayers and meditation and visioning and journaling and hiking. And it's got all these tools so that when something comes up in life, I just reach into my tool bag and know that, oh, I need this tool. So first and foremost, they're all great tools. Slight variations, and this can vary upon teacher as well, but slight variations. Mm-hmm. An affirmation, we're affirming something, right? I am confident. I am strong. I am clear. Beautiful. Those are affirming what we naming and claiming. And it's kind of clicking into the subconscious of knowingness. Our aim is to embody the I am presence, right? Our intentions have action in them, because what we're saying to the universal field is, this is my intention to co-create this. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean so there's somewhat affirmations in there too, but there's a different vibration. But you see how subtle? Right. I am strong and confident. My intention is to stand in strong strength and confidence in this meeting and in every interaction. So they're a little more expansive. They have more action to them. Neither, again, I just want to be clear. It's not that one's better than the other. They're teammates. They're all on the same team, right? Visioning, as we've somewhat touched on, is, in Reverend Michael's teaching, when we do the visioning process, which is a brilliant process, we go into a deep meditation asking certain questions to catch the vision that Spirit has for our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So vision, we can catch a vision, like we can in meditation see something, and maybe it's something we're to be participating in doing. That vision is inspired, we catch it. And intention, as I said earlier, is we take that vision and we propel it forward with action. So again, they're all on the same team. And I've never said that way until this day today. So you were supposed to ask me that question, because they're playing together in harmony. It's which, sometimes when I'm in prayer, and when we do affirmative prayer, that middle, chunk of it is that we are realizing something. Intentions are all through the realization stage. So when we know, they're dancing together, all these beautiful spiritual tools, and when we honor all of them, we will know which one we need at any given time.
Yeah.
But we get to honor them all. And it happens for myself that intentions are something that just vibrate high for me. I'm also an energetic being, so what we all are, but what I mean is I have a lot of it. Energy. So intentions being energy, like energetic forces, they just vibrate with me in a way that sparks me. And I've seen the result, Daniel. I've seen lives change, and people come back to me and say, I have a client today that I talked to this morning that a year ago was diagnosed with brain cancer and had her surgery, is out today, standing in answered prayer of no residual effect, body temple strong and clear. She was working with intention, she was working with prayer, but her intention is fulfilled because she had an intention. My intention is to make choices that honor my body, and it is in accepting, it is healing with every breath I take. That's more than an affirmation, right? So on this side of it, getting great results from the doctor, she's like, that my intentions were fulfilled. So I get to see that this is the blessing of saying yes to this path, is I get to work with people and watch them grow and live in fulfilled intentions, and watch their excitement to, oh my gosh, I'm co-creating my life. If you could create one thing, you could create anything. It's just the law.
Yeah, and as I shared, learning about intentions, for me, it's propelled my life. It's changed my life. It's only been like 6 weeks since the class started, or 7 weeks, or something like that. But having, as you talked about in class, a toolbox, and having intentions to put in that toolbox and pick up and use on a more regular basis whenever I remember to remember. And my life has become more focused. I have always, not always, but for a long time, I've been using visions and visioning, but not intentions. But I find that intentions, they go down to moment by moment actions and moment by moment vibrations, and how I choose to, or what choices I'm making in each and every moment. And intentions help me focus a lot more in this co-creation with the Spirit, with God. So I attest to them being incredibly powerful, and I've only been using them for 6 weeks.
And just imagine, when they're just they're your go-to. It's like, wow, all that's possible is it's breathtaking when we really think about, we came in with everything we need. Each and every one of us, it's in our DNA. We came in with everything we need to create the lives we dream about. It is our opportunity because we live in a forgetful world. As
Mhm.
soon as we take on a human experience, there's elements of forgetfulness, because look at how full this world is, and all the distractions.
Right.
There's so many things to distract this inner sanctuary. And when we keep coming back to cultivating this inner sanctuary and remembering to remember that we came in with all we need, and being curious to find all those things that we need, pull them out of a tool bag, bring them up to the altar of consciousness, accept them, then we are creating our dreams moment by moment by moment by moment by moment, which is why it's so imperative that we stay awake, and intentions help us stay awake for darn sure.
Reverend Kim, I would love to keep this conversation going for, I don't know, 2 more hours, but it's been 55 minutes or 50 minutes at least. So we need to come to a close. And as I shared with you before we went on, a segment in this podcast is that we set a weekly intention. And who better to guide us through that brief process? It's only a brief process, but who better to guide us through that than you? So if you would do us the honor of guiding us into a weekly intention, I'd be so grateful.
I would love to. So we're right in the middle of the holidays. Perfect time to have an intention for what we wish to experience in the holidays. So I'm going to listen to Spirit and just say a few. How's that?
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
And everyone can choose from there, right? So if any of these resonate, I invite you to scoop them up. My intention is to stay present in love as I move through this holiday season and connect with all those I walk with. Present in love, connect with all those I walk through with, right? That's one. Could be, here's the thing, ask what you want to experience. So my intention is to stand in joy during the holidays. No, oops, I don't want to take that during the holidays. My intention is to stand in joy this day and every day of the holidays as I stay connected with those that I love. My intention is to stand in confidence. My intention is to stand in knowing I'm completing all details of my life with ease and grace. My intention is to stand in grace, live in grace, and giggle all the way through the holiday season. Just gave you about 4 or 5 in there. So qualities, and tweak any of them. Take part of them and put your own words in, but write one.
Write it and post it somewhere where you can see it.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, Rev. Thank you, Rev.
It's my joy. My joy.
2 questions before we come to a close. If anyone wants to connect with you, because you are guiding, you are holding truth and space for individuals. If they want to connect with you, how? And also, if anyone wants to get your book, where do they get that?
Perfect. Thank you for those 2 questions. The book, The Technology of Intention, can be purchased right on Amazon. So wherever you're at around the world.
Could you hold it up?
Oh, yes. It's my teaching book. So you see my tabs, but you can just go right on Amazon and purchase that. I'd love it if you did and read it. And to stay connected with me, just go to my website, kimstanwoodterranova.com. All 3 names, kimstanwoodterranova.com. You can sign up for my newsletter because I send out tons of information where I'll be speaking in the world. I send out lots of intentions. I do have an annual intention retreat that's going to be virtual and all over the world this year.
Really?
In January. So if you're on my email list or follow me on Instagram or wherever else, then you'll see the invites for that, because it's one that everyone comes to every year to set their intentions for the next year.
Perfect.
And I would love to have you and everyone that's part of your world to join me. So thank you for having me here. Thank you for all that you're doing.
Thank you for joining us. And my last question, would you mind, or would you honor us with blessing us out, saying a final prayer?
I would love to, because I do that all day long too. Pray and set intentions. Ah, yes, yes, yes. How grateful I am to be right here, right now. How grateful I am to be breathing this breath. How grateful I am to know that the one power, one presence of all that is, God is, Spirit is right here, right now, always has been, always shall be. How good it is to accept and know that this energetic field is pure love, pure unconditional, ever-giving, unlimited love. And it moves through each individual across this planet and beyond. That each of us, every individual, is connected to the whole, to source energy love at all times. And every breath we take, I'm accepting for every individual that there's a wake-up within that reminds them of their magnificence. I'm knowing that the wake-up call has been heard. And as we step into this season of light, this season of love, we step in love-filled. And even in a world that may show us the circumstances of having to be separate, I'm claiming and naming that our intentions are bigger than a circumstance, that we stay connected in love to know who we are, shining our lights brightly and blessing the world with our consciousness. I bless us all. I bless Daniel's ever-givingness. I'm so grateful to him and all that he brings to the planet. I bless him with continued inspiration and action into his freedom, that he brings freedom to others and guides their way. I bless this day and everyone that's listening and all their families and friends. I bless us all across this planet. In gratitude and joy, it's easy for me to let go and trust the journey of this word. And so it is. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Reverend Kim. That was beautiful.
My joy to be here. Have a beautiful day. I bless you all wherever you're at.
You
and
too.
Let's stay connected, please.
Yeah. And to all of you tuning in, I wish you joyful holidays, and hopefully with your intentions, not hopefully, but I'm wishing for you to stay true to your intentions. That's my desire for you, to stay true to your intentions. And as always, we close with just saying that life is good and all is well. And I bless your day. I bless your way. Namaste. You have been listening to an episode of the Path to Freedom podcast with me, Daniel Roqueo. I invite you to stay tuned for more episodes. If you have any questions or comments, or just want to get more inspiration and empowerment, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I also invite you to visit my website, danielroqueo.com. I bless your day, and I bless your way, you beautiful, wonderful being.